Well, we're gonna turn to a much more intriguing matchup, and this is one of the mythical nature in the Super Featherweight division. Floyd Mayweather Jr. at 130, squaring off against Mexican fight legend Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. in the Super Featherweight division. My goodness, Gogue. First of all, how special was both Floyd Mayweather and Chavez Sr. at 130 pounds?
That's what started their great. That's what started their streak. That's what started their road to greatness. Winning titles in them weight divisions. Oh, Chavez was a massive champion at 130, 135. Mayweather was too. Oh, that would have been a hell of a fight and everything. Oh, geez. And if it was on pay-per-view, it would do incredible numbers. It would do incredible numbers because Julio back then was a superstar in Mexico, even at 130 pounds. And don't forget, he knocked out Roger Mayweather, Floyd's trainer uncle, when they fought.
That's right.
He knocked him out in the second round and everything. But Julio,
wow.
In his prime, but to me, Joe, one of the toughest fighters, pound for pound ever. Had that same toughness as Carmen Vasilio, Gene Fulmer, Rocky Marciano, Jake LaMotta. Boy, you could hit him with everything, and nothing would discourage him. He had that tough leather skin where he never got marked up. Okay, his face, you could hit him with the best shots, and he would never cut. He would never swell. He would never get marked up. Oh, geez, and his chin was like concrete. You couldn't hurt him, and he had a what do you call it? A will, a strong will that just to keep plowing and forging ahead. Just trying to wear you down with this pressure attack, which, like Jose Luis Castillo, Brandon Rios, but his version, his pressure attack was more advanced than them guys, okay? It was more, very, very similar to Jose Luis Lopez, because Jose Luis Castillo, excuse me. Jose Luis Castillo was his sparring partner for many camps with Chavez Jr., so evidently it rubbed off on him. The way he fought Jose Luis Castillo, pretty say he learned a lot of stuff from Chavez Sr. To me, one of the greatest pressure fighters and inside fighters in the game in the history of boxing. So that fight with him and Mayweather, at 130, especially when Floyd, at his prime when he fought Diego Corrales, it would have been a hell of a fight and everything.
Well, I tell you what, before we start talking about the keys to victory against Floyd Mayweather Jr., for Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., let's take a look at the tail of his tape. My goodness, fought out of the orthodox stance. He stood 5'7.5" tall in the center of the ring, fought behind a 66.5 reach. Originally from Ciudad Obregón, Sonora, Mexico, he finished his career with an astounding record of 107 victories, 6 losses, 2 draws, 86 big wins coming by way of knockout. Holy cow, James. So, obviously, Chavez fought one way. Boy, he didn't take a back step to anybody. So, how would he fare, and what would he have to do to be effective against the fleet-footed 130-pound version of Floyd Mayweather Jr.?
Cut off the ring. Get the distance close. That's going to be the key to him winning this fight. Fighting in the trenches. He ain't going to beat Floyd in long distance, okay? Floyd has superb reflexes, especially when he was younger. Oh, my God. Impossible to hit long distance, okay? You're going to have to fight him in the pocket, like Jose Luis Castillo did the first time and gave him problems. He wasn't used to that type of pressure style that Jose Luis Castillo put on him, and the offensive attack at close range that Jose Luis Castillo put on him. You can see he had problems with that. Well, guess what? Chavez, he's more proficient, okay? He's better at cutting off the ring than Jose Luis Castillo, okay? His chin is concrete. Floyd's going to be hitting him with some shots, fast, sharp combinations, okay? Jabs, double right hands, left hook right hands. But, Chavez, when he was 130 pounds, he can't get discouraged. He's going to keep he's going to keep on putting that pressure on you, and he does it intelligently. Cutting off the ring, moving laterally. When Floyd moves laterally, this guy's going to move laterally with him. He's going to put that jab in Floyd's face. To close that distance. And when he gets in the pocket, them short, sharp, crisp combinations that he's a master at. The ones he used when he destroyed Edwin Rosario. The little short uppercuts, the little short hooks, right and left, and the combinations he puts together with the short uppercuts, the short hooks to the body, head, body. Oh, he does it masterfully. And Floyd Mayweather, every tough fight he had in boxing has been by pressure fighters that gave him problems in the pocket, okay? Fighters that put their combinations together in the pocket effectively, like Jose Luis Castillo, Marcos Maidana. Well, Chavez is the same way. And the angles that the punches that Chavez hits you with, it'll give Floyd problems if he gets it in the pocket, okay? But that's going to be the key to his victories. Cutting off the ring, keeping Floyd from using that ring proficiently like he does. Everybody fights. The jab, putting the jab, in Floyd's chest. You're not going to hit his head, so put it in his chest just to hit something to get that distance close. And once you're inside, don't cut off all those escape routes Floyd likes. Like when you get him on the ropes or in the corners, what does he do, Joe? Gets in that shoulder roll position, leans back at a 45-degree angle, and he starts moving his upper body up and down. Giving you a moving target to hit at close range. Okay, then once he makes you miss, especially when he drops down to his right, he'll pivot around you to his right and bring the fight back at the center of the ring, and he does it at such lightning quick speed. Oh, it's hard to defend. And if you take away his ability to move and escape to his right, he'll pivot around. He has great footwork where he'll pivot around to his left too to get out of the ropes, get out of the corners, and bring it back in the center of the ring. But if he can't, pivot right or left, Floyd gets in that shoulder roll position and just moves his body, at different angles. At lightning quick speed, and it's a hard target to hit and everything. And Julio, like I said, he's gonna have to do. He's got to worry about all these defensive tools that Floyd uses, to take away that high pressure attack that Julio likes to put on you. So that's what he's got to do. If he can keep the fight close, cut the ring off consistently, put the pressure on him, steady, consistent pace, and get the fight in the pocket, well, he has a chance to win, okay? Because, like I said, when he fought Jose Luis Castillo that first time, everybody thought he lost the fight. Okay, well, Chavez is a lot more proficient. Not only cutting off the ring, but the combinations he throws at close range than Jose Luis Castillo.
Wow, absolutely, guys. Before we go any further and talk about the keys to victory for Floyd Mayweather Jr., let's look at the tale of the tape that he has currently thus far. Now, keep in mind, guys, at 130 pounds, Floyd Mayweather Jr., Pretty Boy Floyd, was a much different fighter. Mm-hmm. Wow. Talk about an entertaining, just spectacle of a fighter. This guy was special. I mean, he still is, but at 130, he was just spanking everybody, and it was fun to watch. It was a genuine anomaly in the ring now, wasn't it, James?
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. Once in a generation type talent that comes around, every 10, 15 years.
Well, here's his tell the tape. Here's his tell the tape. He fights out of the orthodox stance, stands 5'8" tall, fights behind a 72-inch reach. Pretty Boy Floyd, originally from Grand Rapids, Michigan, has a record currently of 48 wins, 0 losses, 26 big wins coming by way of knockout. Now, you look at the hand speed, and Mayweather back then, he used to like to let his hands go with a lot more regularity and consistency than he does now. James, would you see Floyd still practicing that same kind of punch output against a real machine who could take advantage of those opportunities like Chavez Sr.
Oh, without a doubt. He's going to, first of all, Floyd's, his legs were his greatest asset now and back then. Okay, his ability to move, use the ring intelligently, use angles, create angles with his footwork, move in circles, and get him out of those danger positions in the ring, like on the ropes or in the corners. And Floyd's going to, control distance with his footwork and that jab. That stinging, spearing jab he likes to throw, to the head or to the body. Then once the openings, he sees those openings, like the lead right hands, the lead double right hands, or then the combinations are going to flow right after that. Chavez throws a lazy jab. He's going to do that pull counter, pull counter right hands. He's going to check him with a lot of left hooks because sometimes Chavez, when he closes that distance, sometimes he's open for that, counter check left hook that Floyd likes to throw. And he's just going to try to control distance as best as possible using his footwork, his legs, his jabs to the body and head and the combinations behind him, and the counters. He's going to be hitting Chavez, catching him coming in with the traps Floyd's going to set. Okay, and just try to stay as much off the ropes as he can, which is going to be kind of hard to do when you find a guy like Chavez who's proficient at cutting up the ring. But when he's on the ropes, all defense, shoulder roll, move the body up and down, make him miss. If you can't pivot out of there to the right or left, tie him up, okay? Kenny Bayless will be the ref in the fight, so he'll let it happen. So, okay, he'll let it happen. And then I could see Floyd, Kenny Bayless is a ref, I could see Floyd, winning a unanimous decision in the fight. As long as he follows that strategy.
Wow. So what if he doesn't have a because keep in mind, think about the time when this would have taken place, right? If both guys were actually at 130 at the same time, back in the late 90s, early part of the decade, right? Or early part of the millennium. Think about this. If they had a ref, say, like Steve Smoger, or say even like Mills Lane back in the day, or even Jay Nady, how do you think Floyd Mayweather would deal with the awesome pressure of Chavez Sr.?
He'd have a harder time because they won't allow all that tying up Floyd's going to do, okay? They would force Floyd to fight. So, Aram, Kenny Bayless, Kenny B will come to the rescue and make sure that, he gets he favors Floyd and the way Floyd fights, okay? Like, the excess of holding he does and stuff like that, he lets Floyd get away with it and everything. But if he had like guys like Jay Nady, Robert Byrd, Mills Lane, it'd be a tougher fight for Floyd. It'd be because this guy, they're not going to let, number one, they're not going to tolerate Floyd holding too much, and number two, they're going to, they'll probably warn him and start taking some points. And number three, if Floyd does try to hold him, back in the days, they would be Mills Lane. He'd be smacking your arms to warn you, hey, you're holding. If you don't listen, he'll smack your arm, just to let you know, hey, you're holding, don't hold. Or what he would do, he would pull your glove down. When you try to hold him, when Floyd would try to grab, Mills Lane will pull his glove down so you wouldn't hold. Yeah, stuff like that. That's what old time refs did that. They don't do that nowadays, okay? Lawrence Cole got criticized when Ricky Burns, when he did that to Ricky Burns when he fought Omar Figueroa. Ricky Burns was, excessively holding in the fight. Every time he tried to grab Omar Figueroa, a lot of times Lawrence Cole, he took Ricky Burns' gloves and pulled it down to tell him to quit holding. Okay, that's what old-time referees did to not affect the ebb and flow action of a good fight that could happen. Okay, nowadays, these damn refs, man, they let you hold excessively, and it stinks up the joint when they do that, okay? It ruins a good ebb and flow action of a fight. But back then, if he had Mills Lane, Robert Byrd, who else was back then? I can remember. Jay Nady, and there were
Frank Cappuccino.
Well, them guys, it would be a Nevada Commission ref. Okay, guys like Jay Nady
that's right.
or Jay Nady was even too young back then. He started coming up in 2000. No, probably Mills Lane would probably get the assignment. Yeah, he would probably get the assignment, and it'd be tough on Floyd because he'd make Floyd fight. But Floyd is such a so physically gifted athlete back then. Oh, geez, it would be hard for Chavez to overcome all of Floyd's physical gifts, his footwork, his hand speed, his counterpunching, his IQ, his defensive skills. Oh, geez. And it would be hard for Julio. Julio would have to, like I said, consistently get him in the pocket, consistently cut that ring off, consistently keep the fight in the trenches for Ab to have any chance of winning the fight.
Wow. So here we go. Here's the moment of truth, James. In your opinion, who takes it? Who wins this fight? How do you see it playing out? And who do you see getting their arm raised in victory? Now, keep in mind, this is our mythical pound-for-pound matchup at 130 pounds.
Floyd's superior athleticism, his superior reflex, defensive skills, hand speed, his jab, his ability to control your range from his jab with his jab. I think it would be too much for Chavez Sr. to handle. Even at 130 and everything, it would just be tough. To fight a guy like Floyd with all those athletic gifts and everything. But if he could, like I said, if he could keep the distance close, cut the ring out proficiently and consistently, he would have a better chance. But I just see Floyd because he's so, like I said, he just has so much physical gifts and everything. And, defense, what do you call it, Joe? Floyd's great defense will break Chavez's Senior's timing and rhythm offensively. He won't get into sync. Defense also, what do they say? It destroys confidence. Okay, if you're consistently trying to hit your opponent, you're not hitting your opponent. You sometimes get discouraged. Mentally, you break down. Okay, you lose confidence. That's Floyd Mayweather. That's his MO. That's his motto. Defense wins championships. He discourages you. He destroys your confidence. You get out of rhythm, you get out of timing offensively, and when you do that, it's hard to, Floyd starts controlling you even more, he starts picking you apart even more.
Wow, and there you have it, guys. So what do you think? A unanimous split decision? What do you think?
115-112 at best. Floyd and the WBC champion, and I don't know who's in the new WBC champions. Let's say if they're fighting for the vacant title. Or a unification title. Floyd was the BA champion. Chavez was the BC champion, and the new, unified champion. That would be it. Yeah, I'd have to go with Floyd. It would be a little bit too much for Chavez Sr. Athleticism.
And then you have it, guys. In the mind of Mr. James Gogue, 3-decade fight trainer and master strategist, he sees Floyd Mayweather Jr. coming away with a pound-for-pound mythical matchup at 130 against Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. Wow. Wouldn't that be an awesome fight, James? My goodness.
Oh, yeah. I think Duran would give a Floyd Mayweather at 135 pounds in his prime. I think Duran would I think because of his punching power, his defensive skills, his high volume punch output, I think he would have a very, very good chance of beating Floyd Mayweather at a 135.
Well, we're going to have to save that for another show, my friend.
Yeah. Duran at 135 pounds, I think he was the greatest lightweight ever. Oh, he was a master. 135 pounds, he had it all, Joe. Had it all. And everything Floyd Mayweather brought to the table, he was better. I think he would have overwhelmed Floyd. And Roger, I was listening to Roger in the interview one time, and somebody asked him that, and Roger was, he looked at the reporter smiling like, oh my God. And, it's usually when you ask Roger, hey, what do you think this guy against Floyd? Roger, he's going to get his ass whooped. But when they brought up Roberto Duran, Roger's a boxing man too. He's a very, very wise boxing man. When he brought up Roberto Duran, he just shut up. He didn't say that. He just smiled. He goes, "Oh my God, that'd be a hell of a fight." And the reporter goes, "What do you think Floyd could beat him?" He goes, "Oh," he was unsure. Like he was like, "Oh my God, I don't know if my nephew can beat a guy like that." You know what I mean? Because he knew how bad Duran was. 135 pounds, Duran was a machine, a natural fighter. You know what I mean? Yeah, I just think, just because of his defensive skills, his punching powers, his combination punching to the body and head, his ability to cut off the ring intelligently, his great defensive skills. His ability, he had great reflexes. He could slip those punches, roll with the punches. He had great head and upper body movement. Duran was a master, a perfect fighting machine when he was at his best at 135.